There's only one way to find out.
Well, there might be echoes. We're live. Hello, everyone. There might be echoes since we're sitting right next to each other. So let us know.
Yeah. Well, now you're gonna have to go.
I got my speaker muted. Got my speaker muted, so that part shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, my speaker also. I mean, I can hear you. You're right next to me. But
hey, everyone, let us know how it goes. First stream in the studio.
All right, did you put it where it pops up on Twitter?
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think it automatically does that. Yep.
Put that up.
Yep, it's up everywhere. Hey, everyone. Good morning, LeVar. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Carlton. Good morning, RL. There we go, Greg. Good morning, Stephen.
All right, tell them again what you just told. We need some feedback. Yeah, we need some feedback here as we moved obviously in studio, and we've been trying to set up. So the problem is we don't have the equipment right now to feed you the audio from the callers through the we don't have the audio to feed it back through the computer right now.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. If there's any echo problems, also tell us if that speaker's too loud. It might be a little distracting. Maybe we can turn our mics off while the callers are going.
We could, yeah. Good, sound good so far. Well, that's a step in the right direction in what's been a wild one.
And now back to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
All right, so Friday had to go to Lowe's, like Home Depot, not Lowe's food store, but Jen, I went to Lowe's, go walking in. What's instantly to my left? Christmas stuff. As far as the eye can see, Christmas stuff.
Love that.
Christmas stuff it's coming. Christmas is coming. I almost bought I almost bought some little penguins. Almost bought like some snowmen. Figured at this point, if we're just gonna start Christmas now, I'm gonna just skip right past the Halloween decorating, not even worry about some fall.
I like that.
It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea.
I love the decorating early for Christmas. Christmas season is my favorite time of the year, so I will never complain about it.
Very smart. I say all that to tell you that coming up Wednesday, December 8th, Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming back to Columbia Colonial Life Arena. Portion of the proceeds will benefit Family Promise of the Midlands, a charity that aims to help families experiencing homelessness in their quest to achieve sustainable independence. Tickets are on sale now, and you can come join us this Friday. Well, you can join us. You can join Jay and Tommy 1 to 4 at Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate at Sam's Club on Forest Drive. They'll be hosting a huge pep rally in the parking lot with support from friends at Dr. Pepper, Kingsford, Goodyear, Cheez-Its, Pop-Tart Bites, M&M's, MasterCard, and more. So go check out Jay Phelps. Big Christmas fan Jay is. He decorates his house.
He's more of a Boxing Day guy.
Is he?
Yeah, because he loves soccer.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe not. Maybe Tommy's the big Christmas guy. Maybe I got it backwards.
I actually don't know what it is. I know it's the day after Christmas.
It's Canadian, I think.
Yeah, I think it might be.
It's Canadian. Yes, so they've done something. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of Mickey Mouses. It's true. Yeah. All right. Well, Trans-Siberian Orchestra coming back to Columbia Wednesday, December 8th, Colonial Life Arena. Make sure you get your tickets. They are on sale now. And again, you can come out and join Jay and Tommy this coming Friday, 1 to 4 p.m. at Sam's Club for the Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate over on Forest Drive. Don't forget about that. We'll talk more about the weekend that was, Patrick. Again, look, if you are able, and I have kind of figured this out, years of experience. But if you were able to get past the early South Carolina game, it was a phenomenal Saturday of college football. Michigan, Nebraska was sneaky good late at night. It just got overshadowed by Alabama, Texas A&M. BYU was turning the football over left and right. They tripped up and lose to Boise State. Georgia was walloping Auburn, but it was kind of entertaining to watch. You had Iowa, Penn State. I want to get into that because your boy Sean Clifford, if he stays in the game, Penn State wins that game. And I had Iowa minus, I don't know what I had them in our pick. I had minus 2.5 in real life. Oh, and by the way, Texas, Oklahoma.
Amazing. That's why the South Carolina game being a dud was actually good for the name select, because you could have turned your attention to Arkansas, Ole Miss, and the rest.
It was. I had three TVs. I had 3 TV going. I had a whole new setup in the living room. Phenomenal. We'll talk about the weekend slate that was. We'll get into more of your calls. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. East River, Columbia.
Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Jonathan.
My roommate and I also got screwed by a book glitch.
Oh no!
The opening drive of the third quarter, we found a live line that says Tennessee to punt was plus 2,800. So I just put $10 on it and won $280 because Tennessee punted, and they had the money in my account. So I just threw $50 on LSU to win. LSU loses, and now they took the money out of my account because they said it's a glitch and they're not going to pay it out. So I ended up being down like $100 instead of $200.
I gotta admit, I hit the over in Oklahoma, Texas, 64.5. Felt good about that one pretty early.
Yeah, that one was over in a heartbeat.
Hit the over and then came back at 3:30 and took BYU minus 6. And I don't think hope is up and moving just yet. Hope's a late riser.
I mean, I think the 5-team teaser, Ole Miss won, Bama minus 12, big loser. Michigan plus 3.5, yep. And what was the score of the SMU game? I thought SMU was going to destroy Navy, and they won by 7.
Well, and then I had Iowa, which again, if Sean Clifford stays in the game, it turns out to be a very bad Saturday. And then but I split Iowa and BYU. So I basically won the Texas game. Then I took my winnings yesterday and took a 3-team parlay with moneyline parlay which actually was crazy because I got pissed off and stopped watching it with 37 seconds to go. I had the Vikings.
Yeah. That would be worth talking about too. Did you see Dan Campbell's press conference? It was beautiful. He cried. He was crying on the podium. It was beautiful.
I had the Vikings. I had morning, Justin. I need to get we gotta get the login because I like being able to see
the comments. Wait, you can't see the comments?
I can see the comments. I like being able to keep track of how many people are on.
Oh yeah.
Back in studio. Hope everybody's thrilled.
We have this little camera here that we're gonna try and get. We don't know how to do it yet. That will hopefully give like a more professional view of the studio.
He'll be just staring up at me. View is definitely not as pretty. This is quite depressing, actually. There's not a lake out behind me. I had to actually get completely dressed this morning. Totally different. If we wander off, it's because we go out into the studio. What are you trying to do?
I think technically we're not supposed to have
Oh, a TV on?
I think we're not supposed to have other channels on our feed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got it.
I have a big head, so it is blocking.
As you can see, we're all learning. So good, Craig. Yeah, it looked windy out there. It looked real windy. So I got to get the boat out. I do agree, Jonathan. The ability to tailgate is certainly the reason we continue to go to games right now. Switch to it.
Are people going to go to the game though?
Dude, it's going to be the attendance is going to be so low on Saturday, which I'm not really upset about. There you go, Justin. No, yeah. I mean, I'm wearing jeans. I say that. I've worn this little black hoodie for multiple times in the past, and I got to get a haircut. We got a whole issue going on here with hair has gotten way too long. I need to see if all my stuff's still out here. But
yeah, golf club's still out there.
I think so. I'm playing in that tournament, but I'm playing like one-legged, kind of like, dude, I just laid around on Saturday. I didn't do anything else. It just like completely tightened back up. I think if I don't get blood in it, move around. Yesterday I moved around.
You playing on a team?
Yeah, I'm actually the reason I'm going is I'm playing with one of our sponsors. Okay. They asked me to play like weeks ago. All right, we're a little bit more set up here.
Did you watch this game? When did the Chiefs game get delayed?
I don't know. I went to bed. Honestly,
I watched like half the first quarter and went to bed really early.
Yeah, honestly, I watched the end of that baseball game. I watched the end of that baseball game and then I just didn't like watch it. I kind of actually watched just a little. Oh, who won last night? The Astros or the White Sox?
Hey, it's DA. Be sure to listen to CBS Sports Radio at home.
Oh, White Sox won, so that means the Braves play at 4:00 today.
I think you'll definitely be able to snag a ticket, John.
Or no, the Braves play at 1:00. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jonathan, you'll have zero problems.
And how much are they right now?
All right. Coming back. Now we're going to take a phone call here.
It's time for the early game, where the team is always prepared grabbers. Like Graham Slam was supposed to prepare with sausage on 107.5 The Game.
Welcome in. Monday morning, you're just getting up and going. I don't blame you. Sleep an extra hour. Why wouldn't you? I mean, did you see the South Carolina game over the weekend? You need the extra hour of sleep. Now, with all that being said, did you see the rest of college football all over the weekend? Man, what a great, great weekend of college football it was outside of that South Carolina game. Patrick, again, the noon window. Now, I had a different setup than I typically do. I moved one of the team. We didn't go sit outside. I wasn't feeling particularly well, so we stayed inside. I had two large screens. I had one mounted. I moved the other one, the 55-inch, kind of down in front of the fireplace. Fireplace wasn't going, and then had a smaller TV just off to the left. It was a very nice setup. I got to admit, you're right. Sometime around mid-third quarter, the South Carolina game went on to the little tiny television that I had off to the left, and the big television featured Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Arkansas, which were two absolutely phenomenal games. Mississippi, Arkansas, SEC game. Let's start with that because you and I talked about it a little bit. I think we made a pick on that one as I pull our picks up from the weekend. You and I took Mississippi to cover. We did not get that correctly. It was a 1 point game. Mississippi was favored by 5.5.
The clock operator is the donkey of the day for anyone that bet on Ole Miss and spread.
I did wonder about that. He left that 1 second up there. I was like, that wouldn't happen in most stadiums, right?
That's what I'm saying. That was the most stunning part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
but it did make it intense.
It did made it very intense. Made it a lot of fun.
Did you like the 2-point conversion? I always like the 2-point conversion on the road.
I did. I did.
Always like it.
The new rules, I think, change with the going for two after the second conversion. So you got the first two are your typical. We're starting at the 25.
We haven't seen that play out really enough.
I have not seen it play out. Has it happened somewhere? I'm pretty sure it has. I haven't seen it play out.
That's going to be something where I'm going to forget that that's the rule until I see it happening in a game that I'm watching live.
So I had no problem with it. I liked Sam Pittman's moxie on that. KJ Jefferson was being fantastic. Like, Mississippi would score, and you got KJ Jefferson cannot answer what is about to happen, and then he would promptly just go right down the field. We'll see how these two teams kind of continue to go. Patrick, you kind of brought it up a few weeks ago. The schedule for these two teams kind of playing out. That's why it was actually a huge game for both teams, just kind of in the development of their programs. Again, I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens when the year ends with Lane Kiffin and if other schools elect to come after him. We'll get into one school that I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with them. But if you look here right now, Mississippi now at Tennessee this weekend, then at home against a reeling LSU team. Then they get Auburn, or they're on the road at Auburn, Liberty, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. They got one loss. It's not inconceivable. That Texas A&M game is in Oxford. Everybody knows Oxford, very difficult to play, of course. But it's not inconceivable Mississippi could run this thing out and be 11-1 with a loss to only Alabama. I wouldn't put my money on it. I think they lose to either Auburn or Texas A&M. But you look at that offense, they can put up points with the best of them. That's exactly what happened on Saturday. Incredible game. Matt Corral, 14 of 21 for 287 yards and 2 touchdowns. KJ Jefferson, 25 of 35 for 326, 3 touchdowns and an interception. It was a lot of fun to watch that particular game that featured 676 yards of total offense from Arkansas, 611 yards from Mississippi.
It was when they popped up the over 1,000 total yards, I got fired up, and it was still very early. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew he scored a boatload of touchdowns, but this is the first time I've actually looked at KJ Jefferson's numbers. 3 on the ground, 3 in the air, 6 touchdowns for him. That was a monster game. Is Matt Corral still the Heisman? Is he still the Heisman favorite?
No,
is it Bijan Robinson?
Well, I don't know who it is after Saturday. That's a good point. I didn't even think to look to see if Bryce Young was still the favorite despite the loss. I'll kind of take a glance at that here in just a second and tell you and see what exactly you've got for the Heisman favorite as I pull up the wrong thing and see quickly all the odds for this weekend. So I'll get into that
I'm also
here.
trying to pull up Bijan Robinson's numbers because I know after that one huge run he had where he went to the right and then ran all the way across the field and stiff-armed 4 people along the way, everyone was talking about him as the best running back in the country. And is he the Heisman favorite now? I really don't know. But looking at Ole Miss's schedule, what would you handy? You think they're going to go 10-2 now?
I'd take 10-2. I think they lose. I think they lose one more.
LSU's a home game, and LSU looks terrible. Will Ed Orgeron be the coach by then? Who knows? The president and AD were at that game. They were in Lexington, Kentucky, so I was actually surprised he didn't get fired that night. Auburn's on the road, and Texas A&M is at home. So I don't know. Texas A&M will probably have Haynes King back by then.
No, they talked about him before the game. Does not look like he'll be back the rest of the season. They do not anticipate him being back the rest of the season is what they said in the pregame. They're leading up. Probably a lot of people didn't catch it because pregame overlapped a little bit with Iowa and Penn State. I was kind of flipping back. I had the 2 TVs going. I was able to get one on 2. But as they were leading up, they showed a clip of Haynes King, the original starting quarterback this year for Texas A&M. And he was throwing passes on the field, but he had the boot on. And they kind of said Jimbo Fisher this past week basically kind of alluded to they are not expecting Haynes King back the remainder of the year. We'll get to
Zach Kamada's got some confidence now.
We'll get to that game. Now, you mentioned the other thriller of the afternoon. I'm watching. This is crazy how it kind of played out. I'm watching Tennessee put up 28 points on South Carolina in the first quarter, while at the same time watching Texas do the exact same thing to Oklahoma, thinking Steve Sarkisian, man, might be a really good fit in Texas. It was 28-7 at the end of the first quarter in Dallas. Then 25 points from Oklahoma in the fourth quarter. Caleb Williams comes in, the hot shot freshman quarterback out of the D.C. area. 16 of 25, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those touchdown passes, the about 60-yard bomb, throwing it down into the corner to Marvin Mims, was absolutely ridiculous. That game normally would definitely be game of the weekend. It would be in contention for game of the year. It would definitely be game of the weekend. You just had other great games, but how much of that one were you able to watch?
All of it. It was amazing. And the Caleb Williams thing, Caleb Williams from D.C., his final 3 schools, I remember talking about this with my dad, the one time he ever paid attention to recruiting at all. His final 3 schools were Maryland, LSU, and Oklahoma. So as someone whose parents were from New Orleans, big LSU fan, and living in Maryland, we were like, come on, please, just not Oklahoma, anything but Oklahoma. And of course he went to Oklahoma. But he was awesome. Was it his first snap was the 66-yard run?
Of the game, I believe that's correct.
Think it was.
Yeah.
It was electric. But now that storyline is just so fascinating. Like Spencer Rattler comes into the season, odds-on favorite for the Heisman, odds-on favorite to be number 1, gets benched. Is he going to be the backup quarterback for Oklahoma now? And is he going to transfer? Is he just going to go pro? Like, what this means for the rest of the season excites me more than anything. But that was a ridiculous game. Texas just blitzed them right from the start, blocked punt. There was another fumble, and just Oklahoma couldn't do anything. They were playing scared, and just a shot of energy from Caleb Williams was the reason they won that game. It was an amazing game. But that running back to Texas, Bijan Robinson, is unbelievable.
Absolutely phenomenal. You're right. I haven't found the latest Heisman odds, but Bijan Robinson was a great game. We'll see. It was also crazy to wake up and watch College Game Day. Actually, I did the pregame show with Heath, and then sat there and watched Game Day, and to realize that within the next 3 or 4 years, that's an SEC game.
Yeah. Like you see, the very moment they started, I think it was in the first segment during College Game Day, the Texas and Oklahoma fans started an SEC chant.
Yeah, I don't. It was very odd to really start to wrap my brain around the fact that will be an SEC game. I think in the next 2 years, probably in the next 2 years, but at least in the next 4. Very, very interesting that that's exactly how that game went, though. A lot of fun to watch. We'll see. Oklahoma, speaking of, and we'll get into the college football playoff a little bit here in a second, but you look at Oklahoma, they're back at it this weekend, hosting TCU. They've got Kansas on the 23rd, Texas Tech. Kansas awful, so it doesn't matter where they play them. Texas Tech in Norman on the 30th. And then they get a bye. They'll wrap up the season with a trip to Baylor. Iowa State, the one that could jump up and bite them there, on November 20th, and Oklahoma State, who's now up to 12th in the polls on November 27th there, Thanksgiving weekend. But Oklahoma, did they do enough to throw themselves into the discussion? Because right now, everybody loving Cincinnati, Iowa number 2, Georgia number 1. Where do you throw Alabama into this thing if they're able to run the table and then beat Georgia in the SEC championship game? Oklahoma right now at least putting themselves back in the discussion after a very poor first 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, if they win out, then they've earned the right. I don't think anyone believes in them to be a Georgia or Alabama fan right now. I was just thinking, like, what is a Georgia fan just crossing their fingers that Cincinnati and Iowa and Oklahoma win out, so that if they just have a 1 game to beat Alabama, not they have to beat Alabama twice to win the national championship? Because it feels like Georgia's going to be safe no matter what. If Georgia runs the table, they're going to be safe no matter what, right? Like the winner of the SEC championship, or if Alabama goes in with 1 loss and beats Georgia, Georgia's going to be a 1-loss SEC runner-up and go to the playoff, right? Mm-hmm. Is that where? I don't know. I'm trying to look at Iowa's schedule too, because Iowa's probably going to lose to Ohio State.
That's the other portion of this. Ohio State has crept up to number 6 in both the AP Top 25 and number 6 in the coaches poll. Michigan, by the way, 7 in the coaches poll, 8 in the AP top 25. Michigan at least playing fairly well at this point in time. For as much grief as we can sometimes give the Big Ten right now, by the way, coaches poll, 5 Big Ten teams in the top 10. Michigan State finding their way into the top 10 at number 9. You got Iowa at 2, Michigan at 7, Penn State at 8, Michigan State at number 9. Did I just leave one out or did I miscount that? 4 teams. Ohio State. Ohio State at 6. I'm sorry. I knew I counted correctly. 5 Big Ten teams in the top 10. The AP top 25 has Michigan State right at 10. Again, giving the Big Ten right now 5 teams in both top 25 polls within the top 10. So kind of crazy to see how the Big Ten is going to play out. I will say this. This is more fun. It feels like Alabama, seeing them lose. Yeah. I don't know if they lose again, and I probably still have Alabama ahead of everybody. Iowa's offense, by the way, stinks. Like Iowa's offense to go into that 4:00 game. Patrick and I took Iowa to win that game in our picks. We had a -1.5. Iowa's down 17-3. The offense is putrid. They weren't doing anything. Penn State and Sean Clifford were actually starting to carve up the Iowa defense, and it looked like Penn State was going to run away from Iowa. Sean Clifford goes down. Turns out Penn State does not have a backup quarterback. He was brutal.
Now he's in Kentucky.
That's true. That's a good point. He was dominating LSU on Saturday night. They don't have a backup quarterback now, and that game completely gets away from them. And Iowa pulls one out that, quite frankly, they had no business whatsoever winning, let alone losing, probably by 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Sean Clifford stays in that game. It's probably 31-10. Penn State wins that game, and we're talking about how good Penn State is.
Have we heard anything about Sean Clifford since then?
They have not. No.
Yeah, I mean, what did total yards for offensive pulling up right now? Their quarterback, 17 of 31, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. That's okay. I mean, their running back, Goodson's a pretty good player, but they can't. They were reliant early in the season. They were putting up big numbers because they were scoring defensive touchdowns at a ridiculous clip. I don't think Iowa's real at all. I think if that game was played in Happy Valley, it's also a blowout. But from what I've heard, that's just an unreal environment for a big game at Iowa because they're like right on the field. The students are right on top of the benches. It's really loud, and there's just really no escaping it. So that was tremendous home field advantage. But I guess I didn't really pitch. I just assumed that Ohio State was going to go to the Big Ten championship. But when I look at the top 25 and Iowa doesn't play Ohio State in the regular season, I guess it's going to come down to Michigan and Ohio State. That last game of the year, it would appear. I don't know what Michigan State is. I have no idea they were that good. I haven't paid a lick of attention to them all season long, and they just sneak into the top 10 out of nowhere. Who is their best player? How are they an offensive juggernaut? Are they just a typical Michigan State team that plays good defense? Like,
Kenneth Walker is really good as a running back. He's kind of dominated everybody thus far. The wide receiver, whose name escapes me, also had 200 yards.
I don't think I can name a single player. I saw Lombardi. Who does he play for now? He plays for an orange team, I think.
Who?
Lombardi?
Rocky Lombardi?
Rocky Lombardi?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought I saw him pop up somewhere. Oh, he's at Northern Illinois.
Yeah. Okay. So 803-404-6100. Ty weighs in. That excitement in Patrick's voice, that's college football. That's why we needed it. We need the expanded playoffs. I agree with that. We'll get into more of your South Carolina takes as well. Certainly rough weekend for the 45-20 Gamecocks. Drop one in Knoxville, and I think it leaves a lot of people wondering what's next for this football program and just how far a road it is to climb. So we'll get into all that as well.
Alabama Todd needs to show his face on the text line right now.
Oh, why? Oh, that's a good point.
I haven't seen him. I've been scrolling through, seeing Georgia fans, Dr. Bullock, all these people. But Todd's in here every morning, 6:05.
Kings of college football, greatest dynasty ever. I'm with you. Yes.
And now he's hiding.
That's right, Todd. Show yourself on the.
He says "Roll Todd," and I actually think it's very funny. But
I never catch that. I never get to the end of his text messages. 803-404-6100. How you can join us this morning. Cool Care Heating and Air text line or the Love Chevy phone lines. We see you, Brent. We'll get out to you and more on the Love Chevy phone lines when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Oh boy, it's that time of the year. It was actually nice. I saw people out on the lake this weekend, jet skiing, pulling their kids on the tube. So that tells me you still have time to use your pool at your house. You probably could have jumped in this weekend and watched a little bit of college football. You probably could have had some people over for some watch parties. That will be ending relatively soon. I think I saw temperatures dipping into the 70s next week. What is possible, though, is to still continue using that pool in the off season. Maybe you got a fire pit out back. You want to enjoy the ambiance that comes along with having a backyard pool, so that maybe at Thanksgiving, you enjoy your Thanksgiving feast with your family out back while you dine and look at the setting in your pool. Maybe you want to have a Christmas party, set up lights in the pool. The key to that is making sure that it's still clean, not looking green and gucky, not having mosquitoes coming out of it. If that's the case, you need to call Corley Pool Solutions. Flat rate pricing, including all the chemicals. Just because the winter's here doesn't mean you stop maintaining that pool. Call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109. Again, flat rate pricing, including all the chemicals. Tracy Corley's been in business for over 20 years. That's plenty of experience to help maintain that pool, even during the off season, so that you can go sit out back on a nice night, enjoy your fire pit, or just sit back and relax and enjoy the ambiance of your pool setting, even if you're not hopping in. 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions.
From the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center, Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. Shepherd'sGlass.com.
Morning. Thanks for the reminder.
Fantastic for Monday morning. Stay that way.
Let's see here. All right.
One tomorrow, on Wednesday, right now, cloudy.
I don't.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Monthly hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer. So talk to your doctor if you've got vaccine questions. We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov.
Your what?
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
My Excel stuff. Or not my Excel stuff, but
My.
because I was trying to move there we go. Okay. Now I could put some of these text messages.
People that are doing the job before attempting to remove the limbs. Call Pioneer Tree Service. Free quote. You remove limbs safely and make sure the future goes directly away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands. And the removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art
That's all I need to look at.
But I did get the snapshot thing.
What do you want to? Yeah, what do you want to say, Dean?
Yeah. So Matthew called and said,
Hey, wait a minute. We're getting live. Remember live.
that's one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine. I think I said.
Pop-Tart bites, M&M's, Aftercard, and more. Don't miss out on fun tailgating games, face painting, plus local Gamecock legend Connor Shaw is going to be with us. Join us at the Sam's Club Ultimate Tailgate on Forest Drive this Friday and tailgate like a pro. Go Gamecocks! Hey, this is Steve Klein for Hurricane Builders. Building homes ahead of the curve is Hurricane's commitment to give home buyers more for their money. Smart homes are available in Midlands, Aiken, Orangeburg, Florence, and Sumter. All homes built with smart technology features, innovative design, and energy-efficient materials. Visit HurricaneBuilders.com with new floor plans. You know a spot, but not just a spot, the spot. Actually, with the all-new Nissan Frontier, you know a bunch. But the key to these great spots, being able to reach them in the first place. Your spot is out there. Find your frontier in the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. With standard 310 horsepower, advanced tech, and 281 pound-foot of torque. Just Getting Started Season 2 is NFL-centric with origin stories from Aaron Andrews, Joe Buck, and Michael Strahan. How upset people were that they thought you got rid of your call. No, you have no idea. Yes, I do, because social media lets you know. I did have a lot of people who were like, I'm so proud of you. But then you had all those people who were like, I can't believe you. You let down the Gap Nation. Where the hell is their Gap Nation? You know, who started? I'm not a charter member. Just Getting Started with Rich Eisen. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. This update is sponsored by AAA Heating and Air, home of the $1,500 buyback. If your house is in need of a new heating and air unit, call AAA Heating and Air today for 0% financing, no money down, plus a $1,500 savings. Call today and get a new unit tomorrow. 677-1500. AAA, when you need us. AAA Heating and Air. Time now for the Old Time Meat Market clip of the day. Well, travel through another football season. I thought it would be nice to honor the long-time boy for the Gamecocks. Bob would have been 100.
Yeah, good morning, Grill Lane.
Let's hear from Todd, Tommy, and the boys.
I didn't see this, Bill. Girl ran towards Saban.
Ran towards him.
Yeah, what is Travis talking about?
I hadn't seen that. I don't know. I'm trying to.
I would like to see that. Travis, I need you to direct me to what you're talking about here. Did you? I guess we'll talk about that game.
Which one?
Alabama game.
All right, we'll get back into South Carolina here, but then we'll get back into that. I got to see if I can kind of make sure we get semi back on track.
And that's our old-timey clip of the day, sponsored by Old Timey Meat Market, with 3 locations, Lexington, South Congaree, and Andrews Road in Irma. Right.
J.R. Smith's playing his first college golf tournament today. Who? J.R. Smith.
Let me get number 6 here. Number 6. Get this ball. Number 6.
On 107.5 Big Game.
Shane, how would you evaluate the play calling that you've had on offense through the first 6 games of the season?
Good. I mean, what do you want me to say, Gene? That I think it's been terrible? Are there plays that Mark would like to have back? Yeah. Every single coach and player in that locker room would like to have plays back. There's no question. Go back and hindsight by 2020, there's a lot of plays that we want to have back. A lot of calls that Clay people would like to have back. And when we're whatever we are offensively right now, it's not good enough. We got to be better. We got to continue to coach and play better. Special teams, defense, all that. We all had a game in this thing today. When you give up 472 yards of offense, we got to be better on defense. We ran the ball for 75 plays, close to 400 yards. We're not as good on 3rd down. Didn't always score touchdowns in the red zone. Home snap, quarterback in the center. We all
Shane Beamer, that was the clip that I think most people are talking about as far as how South Carolina handled Saturday. And Patrick, look, I don't expect him to throw coaches under the bus. That's not how Shane Beamer's going to operate. You can say that he certainly getting testy with the media, but yeah, he's not going to do it. Now, what is being said inside of the practice facility down there and inside of what happened yesterday, hard to say. We'll see more this weekend. But as Eddie weighs in on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line, Is our special teams and defense more proficient than our offense? Yes, I would actually say more creative with the special teams. That was a very nice fake punt, a very good pass from Kroger to Mangrum, and a good job of staying in bounds and getting the ball across the goal line. And yes, the defense has been. Look, things have got to change offensively. They've got to become more consistent. That's what it is. I like that they've been willing. Again, I'll say this regarding the offense. I like that Marcus Satterfield has been willing to change. We've seen him say, "Hey, this huddle plan we have, we got to scrap that. That's not working." I like that he was willing to try the I formation, that he's been willing to try tempo. The problem is that most I think will agree with is it's hard to understand the concepts of the offense. We see random plays here, random plays there. I see an I formation that works. Then you don't see it anymore. The downfield shots. Look, it's hard to believe that South Carolina, did defenses magically go, oh, this team can't run the football, so now we don't need to stack the box any longer. Let's take away the long pass. Is that why we haven't seen South Carolina try the downfield? I know that the offensive line is struggling to block. I know that. But Patrick, it's like they went completely away from the downfield pass all of a sudden.
I assume it's very difficult to continue changing your philosophy each and every week, right? Are they trying to do too much? Or are they trying to change too much on the fly and something's just not working? You spend a whole offseason developing this offense and this identity, and then it keeps switching it every week. I do like the willingness to try something new, or something's not working, just get away from it. But that does make it harder for the players, right, to execute when you're just changing on the fly all the time.
It's hard to say because I think they're adding small wrinkles and in going to the I formation. I don't think that there's several play calls out of the I formation. There's probably two runs at most, maybe a play action pass, maybe two. I don't think I think it becomes a small bit of their offense.
That changes things too, because it's okay, here's our identity, and people can say, all right, this is how South Carolina tries to beat you, so let's just stop this and we'll win the game. That's the problem with having an identity. You can be too predictable, but if you try to do too much, then they say, oh, South Carolina's an affirmation, this is what they're going to do. Well, South Carolina's got this, their trips left or whatever, this is what they're going to do out of that. So that also can make you predictable.
803-404-6100. One of those thoughts is on Juju McDowell. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Brent is up. Brent, how you doing this morning? Hope you're doing well and in a happy mood. Doing good. Appreciate the phone call. Just looking at the box score, Kevin Harris had 16 carries for 61 yards. McDowell had 8 rushes for 41 yards, and then he caught 1 pass for 5 yards, so 9 touches. Yeah, I don't certainly. Oh, and Harris had 2 catches for 12 yards. So
Kevin Harris had 47 snaps, Juju 19, Marshawn Lloyd 18.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a legitimate question. I think that anything involving the offense, it's okay to question right now. That's one of them. And what you talk about with Kevin Harris, I think that's very fair. I think the concept of how healthy is Kevin Harris is very fair. Is it limiting his? Does it distract or take away from his confidence when he's running the football? Is he a little concerned of getting hit? We still don't know what the back procedure exactly was Patrick? I mean, was it something simple? I don't know if there's a simple back procedure out there, but was it something simple, something easy? He's missed a lot of time, so that also is certainly a concern. But with all that being said, yeah, he doesn't look particularly right. Uh, I'm with Brent. You're trying to find some rhythm here. Marshawn Lloyd looked better on certain carries on Saturday. I feel like he's rounding into form. Juju McDowell certainly is a guy, again, 41 yards on 8 carries and then a 5 yard pickup on a reception. So 46 offensive yards, not counting any special teams yards. Certainly getting him the ball in space because he does seem like a guy, one of the few guys that could make a guy miss and be able to go a distance and scare somebody.
Yeah, he's the only person that can really hit a home run for you like that right now. I mean, we saw Kevin Harris do it last year, but he's just not been that same guy. The only issue with Juju is he is just so small and so slightly built. Like, there were a couple of plays where he had just almost gotten the edge and was a couple yards short of the first down marker, and I looked at my roommate and said he's just not – he can't put his shoulder down and push a guy over the line of scrimmage. Like, when he puts his shoulder down and hits somebody, he's the one going backwards because that's just what happens when you're – what is he, 180 pounds or something? What, do you know what his weight is?
Roughly that.
Yeah. Just too small. Like, that guy cannot. Kevin Harris gets 47 snaps. I don't remember what you said, how many carries, but Juju just probably can't handle that. Like, he's just gonna get hurt. You have to have certain situations ready for him. You can't have a guy that small be a 3-down back. The Marshawn Lloyd one is what is more surprising because he actually is stocky and can push a guy if he gets in the open field. I don't really know why we're not seeing more of that. Maybe he is the one that's not fully back in the form.
Certainly in terms of
where's the corner? What's happening?
Nobody knows. That's become another large question. Look, and I get it. I understand people's frustration. Josh weighs in on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line and says, "Help me understand how Tennessee literally had half of their bad football team transfer out, and yet they are still that much better than us." Josh, to me, it's pretty simple, and I'm not trying to be overly negative or not trying to bash anybody, but I think it's pretty simple. Saturday was coaching. One team had a great game plan. One team had guys mentally prepared for the first quarter. I can't tell you that talent-wise, Tennessee's that much better than South Carolina. What I can definitely tell you now there's no denying it. On Saturday afternoon in Knoxville at noon, one team was ready to play and had a great game plan, and one team was not. And 28 to nothing, you can't argue that. 803-404-6100. We'll get to more of your text message. A lot of you weighing in, certainly want to get to that. We understand. Hey, 3-3. It's probably where a lot of people thought South Carolina would be. Vegas had over under 3.5, but how they've arrived here and what happened on Saturday should not make you any happy or make you feel good about what's going on. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Patrick, I always talk about spilling coffee, lattes, whatever on the carpet. I followed your strategy this weekend. No serious food. I went pigs in a blanket. We went pigs in the only problem was we mixed some with cheese. We put a lot of cheese and they can drip. Yeah, it was delicious. It was delicious. I'm a messy. I'm just that's how I am. I get excited. There's crumbs. There's if donuts have sprinkles, they go everywhere. That's why I rely on Zero Res to come in and take care of my carpets, my tile, the rug I have there in the living room. Zero Res keeps everything clean so that when people come over, they don't figure out that I'm just a big slob. That's really how it works. Thanks to Zero Res with their patented technology that uses high pH electrolyzed water, not harsh chemicals, and no sticky, soapy residue that is left behind. People think I'm one of the cleanest people out there. You've always known Zero Res for strong powered water, but now they have their own name, ZR Water. The technology incredible and scientifically proven to get your carpet, rugs, tile, and upholstery insanely clean. Your home hasn't been truly clean until it's been cleaned by Zero Res. So call today, 803-262-4020. You can also book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. When you call that phone number, you book online right now. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. And when you mention me, Bill Gunner, remember that name, it's important. Mention me at 107.5 The Game. You can get your hallway cleaned for free. That's $75 of total savings just by remembering my name. Again, right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119 when you mention my name, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you will get your hallway cleaned for free. 803-262-4020. You can book online, ZeroResColumbia.com. ZeroRes, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. A lot to do. No, York, I'm stuck back in studio.
Yeah. Studio view is permanent.
This face tells it all.
The studio view is ever evolving, though.
The lake view is much better.
Thanks so much for holding. What's your name?
All right, I apologize. I've not been able to read. Oh, you cut your.
Well, so because Jen's in here now, so we got to be able to hear Jen during the break. I just switched the side because my hair keeps sticking up on the right side. I don't know how to deal with this.
Wait, what do you know? We got to be able to hear Jen.
My hair's sticking up on the side. I'm trying to switch the angle.
Troy, you will not hear the callers today. We don't have the. Yes, much less traffic. No hope, not welcome back. Like the house better. It's much happier. That's why I held out as long as possible.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You can save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you can save by switching.
It actually is sad. It's taken 4 games for someone to take over the leading rusher from Zaquandre White.
You what?
Kevin Harris just took over the team's leading rusher as the team's leading rusher from Zaquandre White, who hasn't played since week 2.
Oh, really?
Goodness gracious. I guess Trey Lance told me yesterday.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Austin. On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday. Turns out you didn't use enough ink.
Tell you what, hey Bill, how about
Yeah, you got an open door fan. Wendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance,
you do KC chiropractic near the end of this break, and I'll just combine these two so that you can just
I see what you're saying.
So that's it for the app.
yeah.
Cool.
It's a little bit longer, but I think it'll work better. So it's after Herndon Chevrolet.
Other members of the mahogany family survived, but the pest as a species was used nearly 200 years ago. Within 50 years after Heisman discovered it in the therapy, what a loss. You know, I was thinking about something the other day. I met a gentleman who spent 3 years in the South Pacific during World War II. My gosh, what a loss when those guys were. Once there were 16 million Americans who served in that war. Now only 2 million survived. There's no delicate way to say it. That noble generation.
Oh, we got the texter bill that said, hope y'all took my advice and bet the mortgage on Sacred Heart Saturday.
Oh, did not see that.
What did Sacred Heart do? 20-10.
Yeah. In-person and live streaming service. If you have tax problems and want to end the frustration of dealing with the IRS,
I couldn't bet the mortgage on Sacred Heart.
hi, I'm
Wasn't allowed.
John Exton with the Exton Law Firm, located right here in the middle. Let us show you what it takes to solve your tax problems once and for all. The first step, which can be one of the hardest, is to take action. Do something. Call me, set an appointment, and meet with me in person. Your first visit is completely free and confidential. I'll show you how to take control of the problem. haven't robbed the Texans for years or faced
No, York, I never got a chance to really look at that. I'm sure it'll be more prevalent this week if he was putting something out.
800 or ECTLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Learn what it takes to solve your tax problems for good. Take that first step.
Yep, Hope is a late sleeper.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. Powerball is bringing moments to it with double.
Well, they were actually, Hope, to give you full context, they were wishing you a happy morning, and I was saying you weren't up yet. I was informing people that you were not awake just yet.
All right, Bill, about 20 seconds.
Yeah, we have chargers down here.
Okay. Yeah, you're a late riser. 5:15. Some of them have been awake earlier than that today.
You're up, Bill.
Probably had a pain in the rear this weekend. It might have come from football. It might have come from playing golf. It came from something. I can promise you that. It was playing or watching football, maybe playing golf, whatever it was. I can tell you how to fix it. Call Casey Chiropractic Center today. 803-796-2424. Used to be Jeff Gordon's phone number, by the way, Jen. He would have maybe won the race this weekend, and you might have picked him. And you know what? We'll get to that in the next segment. Let me get back to Casey. I'm a pain in Jen's neck and back. She calls Casey Chiropractic, Dr. Pate, Dr. Roman Cooper. They'll try the natural approach before the surgical approach. And that's a great way to go about trying to get it fixed. The non-surgical approach to fixing issues is exactly how Dr. Pate, Dr. Roman Cooper like to help you, because they're in the business of getting people out of pain. Research proves spinal decompression has excellent long-term effectiveness, even 4 years later. So if you've been experiencing arm, neck, lower back pain, now is the time to get in touch with Casey Chiropractic Center. 803-796-2424. They'll file all major insurances. They'll work with you on a pay-as-you-go model. So if you've been experiencing pain right now to this morning, don't wait any longer. Call Casey Chiropractic, 803-796-2424. Get that appointment set up. Let Dr. Pate, Dr. Roman Cooper get you feeling better, just like Jen's feeling great this morning. We'll ask her about that here in just a minute. Thank you to Casey Chiropractic for taking care of me. They'll take care of you. 803-796-2424.
Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by, shop online today, and see why Heritage Chevrolet makes you smile. And now, back to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Oh, a lot of you weighing in this morning. Cool Care Heating and Air text line, Love Chevy phone lines. I want to remind you as well, even during a game like Saturday, it would have been the perfect time to speak your mind on our Hot Take Hotline. It's there for you 24/7. So Saturday afternoon, what do you think, Patrick? About 12:30? That was probably about the optimal time that
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't take long. I wasn't looking at the actual clock. Normally it
was quick.
Faster than I thought.
It was quick. The pigs in a blanket were not fully prepared just yet. Yeah, they were not. They weren't quite as delicious when you're down 28-0. But that would have been optimal time. Maybe this afternoon when you're watching the Braves at 1 o'clock. Maybe this Saturday 4 o'clock when you're watching South Carolina and Vanderbilt. You can use the Hot Take Hotline. It's there for you 24/7. 107.5 The Game in Twin Peaks. Give you a chance to speak your mind whenever you feel like it. Call 803-978-6654 if you need to vent. Let me give you that phone number again. Write it down. Get a pen. 803-978-6654. Don't call us. Don't text us. Just call 803-978-6654 if you need to vent. Sponsored by Twin Peaks for the men who never settle. Go see him down in the Vista at 600 Gervais Street. 803-404-6100. How you can join us this morning. Let's get back out to the phone lines. Ray is waiting patiently. Ray, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind? Thank you for the phone call, Ray. 808-40, 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. Couple people weighing in on the text line. Cool Care Heating and Air text line. Trent weighs in. This is actually where he's going with this. Is actually very something I'm kind of interested. He says, I like Shane Beamer, but a performance like this weekend removed from calling out the fan base did not do him any favors. I'll be there Saturday because I'll be there. I'll have my son and daughter. I'd like them to see a Carolina victory. They'll actually be if they win 3-1 this season. Maybe they're the good luck charm. Patrick, you want to take a ballpark number on attendance? Because Troy was.
What was the number for Troy?
The official number was it was right around 60, and that means 20,000 people passed through the gate that nobody saw.
Yeah, it will look the same. The upper decks will be empty.
No,
they'll have to be 50, 45.
The announced?
No, the announced will always be generous.
60. I'm thinking this weekend is going to be it's going to be one of the more sparse crowds I've ever seen at Williams-Brice Stadium. It's unfortunate. Look, you can't say anything about it. This weekend again was for me a lesson in like how enjoyable it can be to watch a game from your house. Patrick's promoted that for years that he's been with us. He's the king of that. What did you do? Did you get the buffalo chicken tenders going this weekend?
No, what did I do for this one? Really wasn't eating much because it was a coffee game for me because I got off at like 5 or 6 a.m., woke up at 10, threw on College Game Day, and was drinking coffee for the beginning of the South Carolina game. I don't think I ate till like 2.
Yeah, but you still had a great day of watching football. Yeah. What was is that when the buffalo chicken tenders got?
I was reheating pizza.
Oh,
it was a pizza day.
Okay, all right. So we broad day. Mm-hmm. Delicious. It's a good way to do it there with the food. Yeah, people are learning. I say people are learning. There's a lot of people out there who probably have known this for a while. Yeah. I say people are learning like we're all like, hey, well, this is crazy. Have you seen how big the TVs are these days? And the line at my own house for the bathroom is non-existent.
Yep.
The refrigerator's only stuff. This is pretty crazy. There's a lot of people who have known that. And look, count me in as one of those people who the more and more this kind of happens, I'm like, it's not that bad here. I can kind of get
because if you. Yeah.
Well, there's tailgating. There's tailgating with your friends, and I hate to say that. That's what this weekend. Like, I honestly feel like, and there's people who still enjoy going to the game. My son loves. I enjoy. That's a moment we spend together. But yeah, attendance this weekend, not expected to be great.
That's why I like going to away games because you at least see a new environment too. That's what I like more than anything. And I forgot I had monkey bread for breakfast.
Monkey
bread's great.
We'll get into more of the text messages. Jess weighs in. We'll get in on that. The Carolina Panthers, and Jess wondering if Jen enjoyed the Kevin and Chase Elliott show part 2. I'm wondering if Jen enjoyed the race as well. Oh, you missed a great race. It ended quicker. It ended. I flipped back over. It was over. I had to go to NBCSN. How about that Kyle Larson? I knew he'd get it done. Just another victory for the Gunner. Some things change. Some things stay the same. You're listening to the early game, the nonviolent portion, coming up from 8 to 9 on 107.5 The Game.
The NFL with live local radio. 107.5 The Game, WNTG FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Be like Harvick and Elliott, you know?
Well, this week is homecoming, right?
Yeah.
Homecoming never meant anything to me in college. I don't even know. I never knew what homecoming was.
Oh yeah, I know.
What even is it? Is there there's a parade or something? What is the draw to?
I don't think they do. Homecoming, I feel like, was a big deal, and before you could watch every game on television, that was when homecoming was a big deal. Now I feel like It's just another. Like you can watch every game on TV, but homecoming was a chance to come back and see your alma mater and like show your kids around. And
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Like my homecoming for all my friends is going to be the Florida game. We all just kind of agree what's a good weekend for everybody to come down. Never face it. Cocky's birthday celebration, says Alan.
oh, there's well, of course. Why wouldn't we?
Hearing a little bit of
I gotta
echo.
walk around my knees, skipping up, sitting on the bed.
I was trying to turn the monitor down. Thought maybe that would make a difference for you, but
The main
Mike's
issue when
turning his
Bill is
volume
speaking
up.
is that there's an echo coming from both computers when I
Yeah,
speak
so-
on. I don't really know what to do about it.
Can he turn his, like, just one of you?
We can mute, actually. Want to mute his.
Yeah, mute his, and then. Of course, that doesn't help when he goes to talk again, but.
Well, he can actually. That actually works for off the air. He can unmute when we go on the air, and we can turn our speakers off.
Yeah.
And then in the breaks, one of us can mute, and we'll be good.
Okay.
I mean, are people going to the game because it's homecoming? Is that what that means? I really don't.
I think a lot of people do, because it's a chance to catch up with people. Maybe people come in from out of town, and so then it's a chance if you don't all live in town, you kind of regroup with friends. Yeah.
I'm welcome. For that reason, I guess so.
Somebody.
I really don't know what this. I guess we'll talk about that. I don't know what the state fair means for attendance at all. Kind of makes me want to go down there less, though. And that means that tailgating won't be the same because the state fair spots are all gone. All my friends have spots at the state fairgrounds. Yeah, there's too many things to keep up with. When is Parents Weekend? Did that already happen? And last weekend was fall break.
Yeah, last weekend, the 24th, 25th, that was Parents Weekend.
Very early.
Yeah.
They're back and forth on
Crazy.
This is really
So far, Patrick, what are you? Oh, so does the whiteboard come in studio now?
whiteboard in studio.
We could. See if I can fit in my car.
If I got permission.
We muted him so I can't hear him, which maybe is okay. Because I was going to ask, what one thing are you missing right now? So they both have muted us. So I'm working on stuff for the podcast page if anybody wants to visit it. We typically put on podcasts from every show, so you can go back and listen to parts that you might have missed.
Oh, you didn't see that last night, the Red Sox call?
No.
You seen the replay of that?
What was it?
And they're back.
What was the call?
I don't know if I should tell it to you on the air. You need to watch it. The ground rule double that basically would have given the lead to Tampa.
Delete other things. A ball bounced in play, then out of play off of a person?
Yeah.
What should it have been?
So, but it hit the wall, hit the ground. Basically, he could have just picked it up and thrown it over the wall.
Yeah. What would happen if he had done that? It would have been a ground rule double?
I mean, yeah, that's what they're saying. I see we're already back to.
That's very confusing. I'm watching it.
The wind looks like it's flipping out there.
So, I'm very confused by that whole situation. What do Rays fans want it to have been?
Well,
like they can keep running?
No, you want it to be where were the runners? Because like the guy coming from first had started to steal and he was 3
Yeah.
He was basically about to round third, so he was going to score.
Yeah.
Like he was going to score, which
But they brought it back to third.
Brought him back, put him in second. Yeah, you get 2 bases. So I tried. I need to order some more Black Rifle coffee and some coffee oil. So last night we went and got it. Because I'm just going to like eat soup and pudding this week. Because like, man, I'm done. Like, dude, Saturday I was flat out. I was like losing my. Cause I was like, dude, at least this didn't hurt like last time.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt, but it wasn't like pressure. Like last time I couldn't sleep on my side. I can sleep just fine, but dude, I freaked out. And so I ain't gonna eat nothing but like taking a blanket on Saturday. Which I hate it because we woke up to do the
All right, you got to unmute yourself when we go back on.
great weekend of college football, except for that, that Carolina game. That was a little rough to watch. But other than that, great weekend of college football. You've had some pretty good Major League Baseball. All fair. We hadn't discussed this. The Rays and Red Sox yesterday was absolutely fantastic. But there was a play in the 11th inning. Here you go, Patrick. Here it is. No, that's not going to be the right play. It was a different batter. But a play there, I guess in the 13th inning, now that I say it out loud, I was up watching it, that's clearly going to be reevaluated in the off season. Here, this is the one that I'm referencing is we're watching on television. Sorry if you're driving in your car, you don't understand. The ball was hit off the right field wall. It bounced off the wall. It was 4-4 to give you a background on it. Runner on first, 2 outs. Tampa Bay, Boston last night, top of the 13th, 2 outs, runner on first. The ball is hit off the right field wall right in front of the Boston bullpen. Right in front. It's a small wall. We've seen Jackie Bradley make some spectacular catches out there in the past. Ball hits the wall, bounces off the dirt, bounces up, hits the, I believe, right fielder. I never even thought to look at which outfielder it was. Doesn't really matter. And goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Now, why that became so controversial was the runner coming from first was basically rounding third. He had started to steal. It was a 3-2 count. He had basically started to steal and was rounding third at the time, would have scored, would have given Tampa the lead. The pitching in this game had become absolutely ridiculous at that point in time. Boston had not had a guy on third base or touched third base since Kiki Hernandez's home run in the 5th inning. It was really intense, a fun game to watch. But as Trey weighs in, we do, by the way, have the live stream up and running if you want to join us this morning. So I'm not looking out over Lake Murray. I'm looking at Gervais Street. Total difference, by the way. Total difference. But it was a crazy play that Patrick, I get it if it hits the ground and bounces over the wall. To hit a player into the ruling is correct, by the way. By actual rule, it is correct. They did not misinterpret this. They didn't get it wrong. It's simply the rule of if the ball goes over the fence in the manner that it did, it's a ground rule double, and each runner gets 2 bases as opposed to where they were at. Stupid rule. Absolutely say the Boston did hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 13th. So, but still, as we know, again, it's just like talking about the South Carolina play on down 14-0 at the goal line. How much does Tampa Bay scoring right there change the game? Put the pressure on the Red Sox. Tampa would have still had the guy Meyer. I can't remember his name. Kiermaier, thank you, on second base at the time. If it's a ground rule double, that's where he would have been. Crazy play last night, and again, the announcers were constantly talking about how that has to be revisited because it hit again. Ball hits wall.
Like what would be fair in that? You say when it went over, he was already halfway down.
Yes,
the third base
you
line.
give them the next base of where they were at. And again, that would have allowed Tampa to score a run. They would have been in.
You can say, because like you said, it would have been the same deal as if he just threw it over the wall. And it's a ground rule double.
Or if he just slapped it. Let's not say threw it, because I don't. That's a good question on that. But let's say that
smacked it with his glove.
Just squatted it over the wall. And it's as stupid as that sounds. That's how it was interpreted last night. Like he literally could have used his body to knock it back over the wall because there was no way he was. I forget who the runner was rounding third as the ball hit him. There was no way they were getting the ball back in to contest the runner at the plate. It was a wild play last night. The Red Sox going to win. They will play again today. Both teams, man, they went deep into their bullpen last night. And it was a very, very good baseball game. The White Sox blow out the Astros last night 12-5 to keep that series going. So the Braves and Brewers today, 1 o'clock. You can hear that right here on WISW, our sister station, 1320. So you got some Major League Baseball going on, but certainly the story of the weekend, the 2 stories of the weekend, and they're intertwined, was college football. One, South Carolina 45-20. They do not look good in Knoxville. And Patrick, that's more of where we've been at this morning. One of the text messages trying to understand just why Tennessee was that much better than South Carolina. I don't know if Tennessee's ultra talented. I don't know if Tennessee talent wise is that much better than South Carolina. What I do know is that at the opening of that game, they were better coached, they were better prepared, they had the better game plan, and that's why South Carolina came out and did not get a point up in the first half, and Tennessee was up 20 or first quarter, and that's why Tennessee was up 28-0, and it was over. It was ball game. Tennessee called the dogs off in the second half. Tennessee went to a very vanilla-based, slowed down offensive pace. South Carolina's defense was
It
able
still
to
didn't
take
win the time of possession because they scored too quickly in the first half.
Yeah. So 803-404-6100. We see y'all jumping in to weigh in. Just a couple other text messages coming in on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. Danny says we were outcoached and outplayed by Tennessee. Not the mid-90s Tennessee. This was or was supposed to be a dumpster fire on the verge of being hammered by the NCAA because of cash in McDonald's bags, who made them look like world beaters. Well, what happens when you show up with a bad game plan? I mean, that's it, and it was both sides. Clayton White's defense didn't they were giving too much cushion early on, and of course maybe you come up and play. Although it looked like a, I don't know if it was a bust. We haven't heard. We'll hear from Clayton White on Wednesday. Maybe Shane Beamer will address it. The kind of the post route where Jalen Foster came off of the deep post and pointed backwards to, I think, Darius Rush, like, hey, you got that guy.
When they drew it up on the screen, it looked like it's just a great play call, but there's nothing complicated about it.
It was, when I saw it live, I'm thinking, how did he get so wide open? But again, 28-0. And look, it's simple. It was a team who was ready to go at noon in Knoxville. It was a team who had a great game plan, who has a lot of confidence in themselves right now, versus one who, quite frankly, whatever the coaching staff wants to say for South Carolina wasn't ready to play. They don't have a lot of confidence in themselves. We know that. Despite what some of the talking penalties have suggested otherwise, and they didn't have a good game plan. And when those three phases are lost, it typically does not turn out well, and that's exactly what happened.
Is it too much to say that they played scared? Is that taking it too far? Because the defense was kind of just like, hey, we're going to try not to give up the big play, but they did give up the big play anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, was the defensive staff just not confident that we could match up on the outsides with them? Cam Smith is out.
I was going to say Cam Smith being out. I don't know if they were concerned. It's hard to really say what exactly maybe Clayton White will be asked those questions on Wednesday. Certainly, look.
And Agbari still played a great game. Pretty much the only one.
Anthony weighs in on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line. No offense, Anthony. I don't know if you've watched a lot of SEC football, but he says South Carolina has an average quarterback, poor offensive line, unpredictable defense, and coaches who with seemingly poor coaching methods. Overall, South Carolina looks like the worst team in the SEC. Anthony, and I don't blame you for this. You haven't seen Vanderbilt, and that's why South Carolina is a 16-point favorite. I know Vegas Insider, I think, is saying the line opened at 20, or it's hinting at 20. No, Vanderbilt's bad. South Carolina should win and should cover this weekend. That might be it in terms of wins, but Vanderbilt's really, really bad. Clark Lee in his first year coming over from Notre Dame, that program is struggling extremely badly. And I don't, to my knowledge, Patrick, I didn't look back to confirm this. I'm just going with it. I don't think they've scored a point in SEC play so far. They've been shut out by Georgia and Florida. I don't know if they had a bye week and they've only played 5 games, but to my knowledge, Vanderbilt is without point right now so far in SEC competition.
Yeah. They scored 23 on Stanford though.
So there's that. They've been outscored 104-0 in SEC play. Georgia, Florida, it is what it is. South Carolina is neither Georgia nor Florida. So
and lost to Eastern Tennessee State.
20, yeah.
23-3.
Yeah. So their Vanderbilt's not good. But so South Carolina should get a win this weekend. We won't we'll get into that later in the week. We understand you're upset. You need a little Monday morning therapy. We're here to give it to you. Bill Gunner, Patrick Pruitt, Jen Jensen. If you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100 is how you can do so this morning. Let's get out to the Low Chevy phone lines. Jen, Hugh is up first and wanting to weigh in on certainly a play. A lot of people want to weigh in the Jordan Birch halfback pass. How are you, Hugh? Go ahead. Yeah, thank you for the phone call, Hugh. I don't know if making a change. Look, making a change 6 games in. I, I agree with you that there's a lot of questions regarding offensive play calling, and certainly there were some things that I've said it. I do like that Marcus Satterfield has shown a willingness to try and adjust, going to a more up tempo offense, to not huddling. This weekend we saw the I formation, so we've seen adjustments. I like that. They still, at the end of the day, look, Tennessee's not a good football team. And to even pretend, and one of the texters is out there saying they don't match up, to pretend that Tennessee's a good football team is being ignorant to the situation that Tennessee's in. Maybe they're slightly better than South Carolina. Tennessee called the dogs off. Tennessee could have, if they wanted to keep the offense going, like that's just being ignorant to the situation. If you think that Tennessee is a 25 point, like South Carolina's, I get it. There's the depth of South Carolina lacks. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that. And there are holes on South Carolina's roster. So I'm not. There's a reason the Vegas spread for wins in the season were over under was 3.5. Still, outside of Eastern Illinois, let's not pretend like this team is. They didn't go out and physically dominate East Carolina. So if they can't physically go dominate East Carolina,
certainly didn't physically dominate Troy.
No, then that's fine. If we want to say they're that bad, then there's going to be people who need to take a step back and say the rebuild on this is monstrous, and you better take the Mark Stoops Kentucky approach of, hey, he gets 10 years, which I can be quite honest with you, not a lot of you, a very small percentage are going to say, yeah, I can live with that. We'll go with that.
But that's what we were saying about Tennessee too. Is like 40 transfers, whatever it was. Program is in shambles right now. This thing's going to take a long time to turn around and get back to the Tennessee of old. And yeah, they're not the Tennessee of old. Their next 4 weeks are brutal. They play 4 of the top 11 teams in the country or something like that. But that's what's so shocking and really hard to swallow is just the fact that they are not – there's very few pros were on the field on Saturday. I mean, the best player on the field was on South Carolina. It was J.J. Enagbare. He played well. He was probably the only defender that played a great game. Probably one of the only players that played a great game for South Carolina. But that is why it's so hard to swallow because Tennessee was out there. They were efficient. They were crisp. And we knew what was coming, too. They played their game. They played fast. We knew it was coming. We heard about it all week. Wasn't ready for it on either side of the ball. The one side of the ball that we said the defense has been good, Clayton White's got them really rolling. They were bad. They got destroyed. And the offense has been just as anemic as possible throughout the entire season.
803-404-6100. Let's get back out to the Love Chevy phones. James is up next. James, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
We got you.
Sorry, it's a green. I see something and then I see Jim, but it's the lettering. It's all new. We're back in the studio. It's not the lake. It's not the lake. I missed the lake already. I've been here 2 hours. I've already turned it. And Jen's not going to like this. I've already turned the heat on in the studio. I've forgotten how cold the studio gets in the morning. The heat is back. It was 72, and I've already turned the heat on to get it up to 73. That's right. I feel better already.
lot to sift through there. But to the point of playing scared, I don't necessarily mean the players. It's more about, was the game plan scared? Because that's what I thought about. Or I see RL's comment on the live stream that was a play you try versus Vandy. I disagree. That is a play you try when you think you're overmatched. Like when we do the fake punt against Alabama, the Parker White fake punt, like that is a play you need a break when you're completely overmatched against a team and you need to use some sort of trick play to beat them. That should not have been the case against Tennessee, but they felt the need. They went into the game saying, hey, we're going to have trouble on the goal line against these guys. I don't know why they thought that, because Tennessee's defensive line is nothing special, but we're going to have to pull out a trick play, break out the defensive pass, to be able to score against them. Between that and the 10 yards of cushion on every single pass play is why I say the coaches might have thought that we were overmatched and their game plan was scared. Nothing about the players. I mean, a player doesn't go into the game and start shaking their boots because they're scared because Rocky Top is playing and there's 100,000 people there. It's not about that. It's the game plan.
Yeah, the Birch, look, I know Shane said post game, hey, if it works, we praise it. I don't know. I've learned from the Will Muschamp era, there are plays that happen and it works, and you're like, all right, that worked, but I don't understand that. Like, I still don't understand. That's one of the situations. If I had seen South Carolina struggle to get down the field, then I understand it.
Yeah, it's a play you break out when you need to gain yards because you're stuck.
But that right there is where you have to be able to adjust and say, hey, what we're doing is working. Like we've got, Kevin Harris looks better. Marshawn Lloyd is getting some yards. We got and to get cute right there. Does it change the dynamics of the game? I don't know. At that point in time, Tennessee was doing what they wanted to South Carolina's defense. And it's hard for me to come in here on a Monday and say, oh, they scored that touchdown, and the whole thing changes. That South Carolina's defense was going to magically rise up and then be able to do things that they need to do. Because Tennessee gets stopped and goes 75 yards with zero problems. So I think that's where South Carolina is. That's what you got to figure out. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. That time of year, again, the weather nice right now. Actually, it was a little warm this weekend, but cooler weather is on the way, which should make you think ahead. Hey, is my heating and air unit going to be working when we hit winter and colder temperatures, especially the heating portion of that? If you even have a question, now is the time to call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500. That's how you can get in touch with them this morning. Get them out to do an inspection. $59. That's all it'll cost. That's what you need to get them out to be able to help you to make sure your heating unit is working for the winter. $59. Now, you're thinking, all right, right now things are a little tight. Christmas is coming up. What if they discover something wrong and I got to pay for it? I'll just continue maintaining as is and hope nothing goes wrong. Don't hope. Do not hope. Here's the great part. AAA Heating and Air. If they find something wrong and they need to replace your heating unit, they can work with you. The first thing they'll do is offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. Then they offer you 0% financing, no money down to those who qualify on a brand new unit. And then most importantly, a 15-year parts and labor warranty to make sure that they are right there servicing your needs if something goes wrong. Because let's face it, we don't ever think about our heating and air unit until something goes wrong. But when it goes wrong, usually it's about 32 degrees and you're freezing, or it's 99 degrees and you're overheating. Don't let those things happen. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. A family-run company that will treat you like one of their own. Being a family member of AAA Heating and Air, trust me, it's kept me out of a lot of problems with the family pets, the kids, everybody that wants to be comfortable inside of the house. So call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Tell them you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner. one guy must be a family parent or yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. I can't really figure out where he's coming from. I do remember him from last week because he said Patrick said it correctly, and then 2 texts later was Patrick's an idiot.
Yeah.
Next text, sorry. Patrick is probably a super nice guy. However, his way of thinking is idiotic. But would he be so who? I don't really understand where he's coming from because he says they have inferior talent. Quit blaming coaching and saying they're not ready to play. They don't match up. Quit insulting the players by saying they played scared. What do you want to? What is the?
Yeah, it's just.
Oh man, the whole time I was talking, I was off the.
Steve, no, people are so sensitive. Don't be so sensitive. I think he's saying like, yeah, don't be. Yeah, he answered, John or Jim.
I don't even understand what Steve's saying.
I think he's telling you like, no, here I talk to other people. Don't deal with people like that.
You saying I talked to him, man?
I think you were saying you were being mean to him. I think Steve's saying you're being mean. And Steve, if you think Patrick was being mean, Patrick was being funny. Stop. Don't be sensitive.
That was mean.
Don't be that person. Don't be sensitive. I'm not on mute, Emma.
You talk like that.
I'm not being mean.
On air. And if you do you have a permanent bruise in your throat from being punched there? Dude, what?
Can't be that.
There were 2 Jims on the phone line.
Well, no.
I respond, we have you, and he hears me say that.
Here's the other thing. What I've learned is we got a new call screener way of doing it. And so your caller ID name pops up. But then again, you can call in and tell us. You can tell us whatever you want to go by. But we now know your name. That wasn't the way it always was.
It didn't show the actual name.
No, it's when you click it, it goes in green, but it's not bolded. It's not bold. So
Yeah,
I can't.
and I try to put their name in there. I typed their name in.
Yeah, well, it was green and I didn't see
dark.
I didn't see like the name. See how that one is, you see how that one is bold though?
Yeah.
Like the name is bold.
And that's just because that's how it's coming in as the ID.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, but I do try to put their name in because sometimes it doesn't match, who's calling. Some people, their wife has the phone.
Right.
Their name and stuff like that. So.
Well, that I can tell the difference, but like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
What?
Saw the one, and it's like, you can't. Yeah.
Where was going?
Steven, dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. There was literally no
But Steve,
malice behind it.
well, but Steve, we cut up with our listeners, and Jim didn't even. Was it Jim?
He didn't care.
Yeah,
I didn't say anything mean to him.
He laughed. He laughed like. That's what I'm saying. If it was one thing if he'd have responded to Patrick like, "You want to make something of it, buddy? Right here. You got my
We
phone."
had two Jims on the phone lines. He said, "Do you have Jim or James?" I said, "We have you."
Yeah, there you.
If that's what I
And he
heard, I was like,
responded.
okay.
And he responded.
I can't believe you're serious right now.
Oh, we're all in a heated mood. We need fair food. Fair food. Wednesday, the fair starts Wednesday. The actual fair starts Wednesday. Talk about something that we missed. Oh, I need to read this. Speaking of. No, nobody was mad. No, you're just, yeah, I forget. Y'all can't hear. I forget, Steve. And in Steve's defense, he couldn't hear the caller. Remember, we don't have, so he didn't hear the caller respond to you. Like, yeah, you didn't hear it. Like, it was fine. We don't have the equipment here in the studio to play the calls. We're going to figure it out. We got a camera over there, but we don't have the equipment for you to hear the caller interact. I apologize. I forget about that because obviously that would have helped tremendously. We've just gotten into the month of October. We've just started our pumpkin spice lattes. Speaking of which, pumpkins, like, I don't know, yesterday, I was kind of footballed out. Saturday, I watched a lot of football, like a lot. Had 3 TVs going, like a lot of football. And yesterday, I was a little footballed out. I was having a hard time getting into the Panthers game. Do you think the guy still thinks? Remember how we got yelled at last week for? Did the guy who thought that the Panthers were a contender? I think we can do away with that one, right? Like the Panthers lose yesterday, brutal fashion, by the way. Yeah, but I was watching like Halloween horrors or something. I thought it was going to be like a horror movie. It turned out it was just like on gigantic pumpkins, and not even the ones that come alive and terrorize Charlie Brown or Linus in the pumpkin patch. But there was like a 1,700-pound pumpkin that they weighed in at the state fair in like Iowa like 2 years ago. It was a massive pumpkin. And the guy who grew it, they picked him up, put him on his shoulders, carried him around, like very a lot of celebration. So we've barely gotten into our pumpkin spice lattes, but I need to tell you about a Christmas tradition. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming back to Columbia Wednesday, December 8th at the Colonial Life Arena. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Family Promise of the Midlands, a charity that aims to help families experiencing homelessness in their quest to achieve sustainable independence. Tickets are on sale now. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra coming back to Columbia Wednesday, December 8th at the Colonial Life Arena. I've never been. I've heard it's a phenomenal show. And it is actually something that I probably wouldn't mind going to at some point in my life, but it's coming December 8th. So get your tickets. They are on sale now. 803-404-6100. Very quickly, we'll get back into college football discussion. I see you on the Love Chevy phone lines. I get the live stream. We do have the live stream up and running this morning. And of course, a lot of you are weighing in on the Cool Care Heating and Air text line this morning as we continue to roll through. And if you want to weigh in, certainly we'll try and get to you. But NFL yesterday, the Bengals-Packers was a wild trip down field goal lane.
What is a throat contusion?
That's where I think a bruised throat.
But is that like really dangerous?
Sounds like it could be.
Can you like not breathe and things like that? He was
not 100%.
That game was insane. I think 5 missed field goals in the last 2 minutes and 2 seconds and overtime. 3 in a row from Mason Crosby, who made like 40-something straight, and then 2 from Evan McPherson, who started celebrating the last one like he just won the game. Wow. Did you see it? Did you see all the kicks?
No, I mean because what I was watching was which game was I watching? I think it might have been Panthers Eagles, and then it cut over for like the last second, literally like the last drive where the Panthers Mason Crosby kicked the field goal. Like Aaron Rodgers had a pass over the middle where he got clobbered, and so he flipped over at the very end. And I caught about 3 plays, and then they kicked the field goal there to win the ball game.
So you saw the make.
Right.
Yeah, so in the last, he attempted one with like 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Mason Crosby missed it. Evan McPherson attempted another one, missed it. Mason Crosby attempted like a 40-something yarder to win the game, missed it, went to overtime, missed another one, and then Evan McPherson hit a bomb, like a 50-something yard bomb that went over the left upright, hit the flag in the wind, and he jumped up and got lifted up by his center long snapper because he thought he won the game, and then looked and saw the refs waving no good, and that was all she wrote. And then Joe Burrow plays the whole overtime and end of the game, and then gets immediately transported to the hospital for a throat contusion. He is a tough dude.
Yeah, interesting day in the NFL yesterday. I mean, again, Carolina gags away a game against Philadelphia at Bank of America Stadium. They've still got a ways to go there, especially when you see Tampa Bay throttle a bad Miami Dolphins team at this point in time. The other one that probably nobody saw, and probably you quite frankly don't care about, I haven't seen the press conference, but apparently Patrick has. Minnesota led Detroit like for 59 minutes and what I'm doing math in my head, 23 seconds, somewhere in that area, something like that. Minnesota fumbled at the 20. They had the ball with like 2 minutes to go. They were going to just run out the clock. Minnesota fumbled. Detroit gets it. It was 16-9. Detroit scores with 37 seconds to go. Goes for two, gets it. They take a 17-16 lead. 37 seconds. Kirk Cousins, formerly of the Washington football team, and everybody knows is the greatest 37-second quarterback in the history of the NFL, marches the Vikings down, and they kick, I think he was either a 54 or 56-yarder to win 19-17. And as Patrick has pointed out, there was crying in the post-game press conference.
It was sad and beautiful to see at the same time just how much Dan Campbell cares. He was truly crying on the podium saying it's just hard when you know that you guys gave it everything they can. And he has such the deepest, manliest voice too. So seeing him cry is like it made me want to cry. He cares about his team so much. I think they watch that and they want to go to work for him tomorrow. Like
really? Because of the crying in the postgame? That's what we need?
It came from the deepest part of his soul, those tears. He doesn't cry very often.
No.
Only football can make him cry because he cares about his team so much. He was devastated for them. It was beautiful. If you can find the video, all you got to do is go to Twitter or whatever, type in Dan Campbell. It's going to be the first video you see. He's crying on the podium. I mean, he's such a large dude with a deep voice and just loves like death metal and is just a man's man. But something like that, when his guys give it all they got and they still come up short, brings him to tears.
Interesting day. Last night, there was a delay in the Chiefs-Bills game. Nobody cared to stay up for that, but Buffalo throttles Kansas City 38-20 in Arrowhead. So that was your late night game. Tonight, Colts and Ravens. So Carson Wentz, is he back? I haven't paid attention to the Colts.
I think so. Is he playing on 2 sprained ankles?
They're the most irrelevant. I mean, they are up there with most irrelevant teams. By the way, speaking of irrelevant, because they stink, but they're not irrelevant, did you see the press conference back and forth yesterday between Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence? Did you catch that? Well, you had so early in the game, there was a play 4th and 1 from, or they were inside about the 2-yard line, about the 1 yard line. I don't know the exact yard line yesterday. Trevor Lawrence had a decent day yesterday, by the way. He's developing. I feel like saying against all odds for what Trevor Lawrence is having to deal with there. 23 of 33 yesterday, 273, and a touchdown, 1 interception as well. But in the postgame, they didn't do a quarterback sneak. They had an opportunity at the goal line to do a quarterback sneak. They elected to not do it. And so what ended up happening is post-game, Urban Meyer was asked about it. It was 4th and goal at the 1. They actually had it 4th and goal to 1. It was 31-19 at the time. It was in the second half. Jacksonville could have cut it to a 5-point game. 4th and 1, they turned around and handed it to Carlos Hyde, who was stopped for a 3-yard loss. Urban Meyer was asked post-game, like, why not just run a quarterback sneak with your, tall quarterback who can get over the line of scrimmage? And he's like, Trevor really says he's not comfortable doing quarterback sneaks. We've not worked on that enough with him to get under center and really do a quarterback sneak. We got to develop him more in that area. Trevor Lawrence came in after Urban Meyer and was asked, but he's like, oh yeah, I've been doing quarterback sneaks since like I was in middle school. Like, it's a play that as a quarterback, you just know how to do. You get the snap, you go up the middle, it's always there. So you've got Urban Meyer saying, yeah, Trevor's not really, we got to practice the quarterback sneak with him more. Trevor Lawrence is going, I've done that since I was
Played quarterback
like,
for a long time.
yeah.
It's one of the simplest plays you can do.
So Urban, it got lost in the action. They lose 37-19 yesterday. I do feel like against all odds, Trevor Lawrence is developing down in Jacksonville, speaking to his talent.
That is actually just going to be a fun situation to watch because Urban, there's nothing better than seeing Urban with his hands on his knees and his head down like this. Just a missed field goal. He's just so defeated. He wants to take a knee. He wants to fall down. He wants to collapse, whatever. He does not want to be there anymore. He bit off more than he can chew, and he knows that already.
Yeah. Meyer also yesterday after the game saying, I see a group of warriors, I see a group of players that I love to death. This is, mind you, after everything that happened last week. I see
and you heard they were laughing at him in the meetings.
I see a group of players that are spilling it on the field, and we're not getting it. We're not closing it out. So the Jacksonville Jaguars again. It's a wild 0-5 for Urban.
Only the third team in NFL history to lose 20 consecutive games.
By the way, maybe a Clemson fan can confirm this. I think Trevor Lawrence has lost more games now in the NFL than he had in his high school and college combined. Yeah, or he's right there. He's tied with it. 803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines here for Joel. Joel, how you doing today? And you want to talk about the direction of the program or the current direction of the program? What's on your mind? Good. And which sport?
Men's basketball and football.
Basketball, football. Basketball, football. Yeah, okay. I was going to. Okay.
Nationally, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yes. No, you haven't. You know why I know you haven't?
Because you're on the phone.
Because you're on the phone. You called in today. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying you're angry. You're angry. Like you're angry right now, and I get it. You should be angry. And you make a lot. I mean, I don't agree with you on the moving of conferences. Look, I mean,
And they are making a lot of money.
Because if you go to another conference, you become irrelevant. And let's be honest, right now. Well, but I mean, like, just stay with it and enjoy the experience. Okay. Well, I mean, and I agree with you. You're not apathetic yet. You're angry. If you were, you wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be calling it. I'm with you on the anger. You have every right to be angry. You should be angry. But that's the thing. Like, you're still invested. You're still there. Gotcha, buddy. All right, we got to hit a break. 803-404. I appreciate the phone call, and I look, you're showing a lot of passion there. I know you're still fully invested, and we appreciate you being a part of the program, Patrick. What Joel just did is why we do Monday morning therapy. Appreciate the phone call. Appreciate you listening. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Oh my goodness. Oh, the excitement is real. You know what? That's the kind of emotion you need. It's the kind of emotion you get when you get a lower interest rate on your home. That's why you should call Benji Getsy today with Buford Lending. Benji and his team, fantastic, helping people save $200, $300, $400 a month. How about that on their monthly mortgage payment? 843-524-2404. Give his team a chance to earn your business today. That's all he's asking, a chance to earn your business. It's a simple phone call. And here's the best part. You can call for a free evaluation anytime, day or night. Think about that. Free. Right now, the economy we're living in, everything going on, free. Not exactly something you always get. But with Benji Getsy and Buford Lending, they'll do a free evaluation each and every day for you, for anybody else, to see if they can help save you money. Once in a lifetime, record rates are bottoming out post-pandemic. Now is the time to call. 843-524-2404. You can get a fantastic rate. You just need to let Benji and his team do a free evaluation anytime, day or night. The broker has been self-employed for 25 years, owns multiple businesses, which provides you with the experience to close your self-employed business fast with the best rates in the country. Why would you not give Benji Getsy a call? 843-524-2404. It's Buford Lending and Benji Getsy. When they fired Mark, the text messages are phenomenal. I apologize. Y'all didn't get to hear. Oh, wait, Tammy, you did hear the phone. How did y'all? Tammy, how did you hear? Were you listening on the radio? Are you listening on the radio? Is that? Although I wonder. I wonder if Jen turning her. I mean, obviously she could cut it on and off,
but it turned the speaker up loud.
She could, and
I don't know if she was doing that or not.
Troy, you heard it, yeah. The guy, M. Colt, and I don't know how Tammy heard it, and Tammy, thank you for it, but basically he said he doesn't listen anymore. He's checked out. He's not involved anymore, and yet he was calling very upset on the radio show.
Why are we even wasting our time trying to be an SEC team?
I like my view better.
This is great.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a lake out here. Need the lake back.
I do.
I would prefer.
So good to have you guys back.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Remember, I'm going to get out of here not too long.
That's fine.
I need to get.
Have lunch with us?
Yeah, what time is it? 11?
Okay. 11:15, and then lunch, short meeting, 11:15, 11:30.
Okay, yeah, I'll be back.
So anything you need from me, just let me email me or whatever, and I'll swing upstairs and catch you tomorrow and see everything. Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, the guy was just like, I mean, it's fine. He was angry, and I understand angry. I really do. Trust me. At 12:45 on Saturday, I was not in a particularly good place either. But was just a funny phone call because you don't get that if you've checked out, if you've mentally checked out, you don't get up that upset. Like that's that's like getting upset 6 years later at your ex-girlfriend for still going on dates. Like you just if you don't care anymore, you don't care. You don't call the radio station. But that's Monday morning therapy. That's why we're here. You too, Tequila Anthony. Have a great day. We're gonna get the audio working properly here. There is a camera over there. I don't know if we'll use the camera. We'll toy around with everything to see what works best.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew I'd run long. What was that guy's name? Joel?
Joel, yeah.
Thank you, John. Yes, it's been an interesting show. That's for sure. Apparently, wherever I go, my lighting, because if I sit back, I look dark. Lighting is just not good. Alan, you just got to keep living, buddy. You got to keep living.
Lucas is 12 and he's already tired of it too.
Lucas sounded like he had a long weekend. I kind of felt bad for him. We should have told him. We should have been like, hey, buddy, if you're that, it just sounds. You don't have to call every week. You can be upset where you just take the day off.
That's it.
Thank you to everybody joining us today via the text line, via the phone lines. Joel, we understand look, it is perfectly acceptable to be upset. We are here.
No one's happy.
So yeah, we will take it. You can continue to do it throughout the week. You should be. It was an ugly game on Saturday afternoon. That's or Saturday afternoon. It's all right. It's all right. So we are here if you want to continue to weigh in. Good job, Patrick. I think we made it through. I thought it was going to be a wild Monday.
It was pretty wild.
It was good. Everybody have a great afternoon.
All right.
That's what you get with me hosting. I just lose track of time. Whatever. Maybe why they think I'm not able to host.
All right, live streamers. We will see you tomorrow.
Good to see everyone.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't have a clue. We done?
I don't know. It's still saying.
I'm
Does it
talking
say?
to one of our
Go.
I'm not on, so I'm actually on the.
I'm clicking end broadcast. Having trouble with end broadcast.
You're gonna have this Twitter pulled up that I need to see.
Let's see what happens.
Hang on.
They're still on the live stream.
I think I'm having internet issues now.
Yeah, and I can't end it. I can log off.
Yeah. No, I just got my sign out.
Jen, sign off for the live stream. Just sign out.
Okay. Bye.
I don't know if she can.
Yeah, she's out.